Thank you. Okay, we get started. Thank you everyone for coming. We are super excited about tomorrow. It is going to be a wonderful, wonderful day and celebration of your time coming to an end at IS 34. We have a couple of really, really important things to go over. So just listen carefully and take note of any questions you might have to ask in the chat at the end. All right, so first, you were at this meeting because you should be in either classes 801, 802, 805, 808, 809, or 814. Okay, so those classes, those 6 classes will be graduating tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. All right, so everybody here is attending the 1 p.m. ceremony. Since you are attending the 1 p.m. ceremony, you need to arrive at school in your gown at 11:45 a.m. Okay, so it's an hour and 15 minutes prior. It's going to take us some time to get lined up, to make sure everyone's in the proper order, to get your guests checked in. So we can't show up at 12:50 for 1 o'clock ceremony. Okay, so students should be dropped off at school at 11:45. When I just said we're going to arrive in your gowns, that does not include your cap. Okay, so no caps will be allowed into the ceremony tomorrow. So leave your cap at home. Caps make for a nice picture, but that's for a picture you can take at your house prior to ceremony or after the ceremony. Caps will not be allowed into the school building or onto the field. They will be confiscated and held on to until the end if you do bring them. So please leave your caps at home. All you're coming in is your gown. Okay. When you arrive, so you're going to get dropped off. So picture it like this. You're going to get dropped off at the main entrance. So all students are going to enter the building in through the main entrance, and you're going to make your way to the auditorium. Staff will be there to guide you the entire time, to tell you where to go, but students will head into the main. After your guests drop you off, right? So the way you kind of do a stop and drop you off the main, you go in. Even though, again, it seems like a long time, an hour and 15 minutes, the whole process of checking your guests in is going to take some time. So your guests are advised to go find parking immediately. Might be a little bit difficult, right? Find parking and then enter the field at one of our 3 entrances and to get their seats. Okay, it's all determined. Everything's labeled, so they're going to be ushered to their seats. So they drop you off, they go find parking, and then they go to one of the 3 entrances.
Everyone will have an assigned seat, right, Mrs. Janicki?
Correct, all assigned. I don't see you, Mr. Boyle. Where did you go? Okay, there you are. Found you. Okay, yes, everyone has an assigned seat. There will be 3 entrances to the field that are open, so they can use whichever one is closest to where they park to make it a little bit easier. There'll be the big gate on Brighton, the back of Brighton. They can come in through there. If they park closer, like on Yetman over here, the dead end street on Academy, that'll be another entrance. And last, there'll be one through the courtyard, right onto the field, the 50-yard line. So any of those 3 entrances, they can go to the field. When they get to the field, they're going to have to show 2 things. One, the health screening, just like you are. I think I actually forgot that. When you guys come into the building at the main, you have to show your health screening like usual. Something that we did not, account for is you're not bringing a bag, right? You're not bringing anything. All that you have with you is your health screening. For girls, if you have a dress with no pockets, we can't be holding your phone down the aisle as you're walking in. So for tomorrow, it might be easier to have a paper copy of the health screening. We'll provide it for you on our Google attendance page. You can print it out and bring it. We'll take it on the way in. So you don't
We'll have some hard copies available too, but that will slow us down. So if you can print it, please do so.
If you do have your phone and you show it on your phone, you have to have a pocket to put it off and away, okay? Because you're not walking down the center aisle to graduate with your phone in your hand.
If you don't have that, we're going to take the phone, put it in a Ziploc bag, and you'll get it back after the ceremony.
Okay, so you're going to show that's going to be your attendance of the day. So make sure you have your health screening available to show the staff member or school safety agent upon your arrival tomorrow. So when your parents go to one of the 3 gates, right, your guests, they're going to have to show the completed health screening. Again, we'll have paper copies, but it'll slow the process down. So it's much easier if they complete it ahead of time and they can show it on their cell phone because they'll have their cell phones readily available. When they click on the link, you usually sign in with your student ID to get your account accessed, but they can do it as a guest, right? So it says take health screening as a guest. They fill it out. They're going to show the completed health screening. They also have to show one of the 3 proofs of the COVID proofs. So they can either have their vaccination card, a picture of it is fine, right? So vaccination card is one thing, or a negative test within 72 hours of the ceremony. A rapid test is enough, that's fine. So either a rapid test or a PCR within 72 hours of tomorrow, or a doctor's note if you had COVID within the last 90 days, that also counts. So one of those three things, not all three things, not two of three things, one of those three things will make you eligible to enter the field along with the completed health screening. Okay.
I went to the Nick game the other night and I had to show the same proof of vaccination or proof of a negative test to get in. I was able to get my son a negative test and it was right on my phone. They accepted a screenshot of it or it was a live link. And I registered because I'm fully vaccinated for the Empire Pass with New York State. It was a quick app that I downloaded and my vaccination proof was right on my phone. And I was able to show the ticket taker at Madison Square Garden and we flew in. People that had to go through their pocketbooks or find it on their phone that weren't ready had a long wait to get in. The same will be true for our parents. If you're ready, you're gonna get right in, you're gonna get right to your seats. If you have to fumble and look through it and not be prepared, it will take a few extra minutes and we're gonna ask you to step to the side while we get everybody who is ready into the venue. So please try to be prepared when arriving.
Perfect. Okay, so you come in, right? You show your health screening at the main office. You don't have anything in your hands, no bags, no cell phones, no nothing. The PTA was nice enough to gift every graduate a class of 2021 face mask. So when you come into school, you do not have to have your own face mask. We don't have to put it somewhere. You don't have to hold it. You can come without a mask. And at the door, when you come in, you will be given this IS-34 mask. It is very breathable. It's adjustable, so it'll fit anybody. They have
It's really nice.
You can slide, right? It's very comfortable. So this is what it looks like. And everybody will be given one when they're entering the building. Okay, so you don't have to come with a mask. We will give you a mask when you arrive. Okay. Students, when you get to the auditorium, right, the girls will be seated to the left and the boys will be seated to the right. You will be given an assigned seat. The way the auditorium is currently set up is exactly how the seats are set up on the field. Okay, so when you are shown where your seat is, you need to stay there because when we line up, it is going to affect how we find your families on the field. All right, so it's very, very, very important that once you are given your seat and your space online, that we do not alter where you are standing so that we get to where we need to get. Okay. I want to go over the flow of the ceremony in a second. Just a couple of other pressing things we don't want to forget while we have everyone's attention. Okay, first and foremost is shoes. Okay, so shoes are a big deal on both boy and girl sides, right? For boys, we are not wearing sneakers, any kind of like slides, anything. It's a formal ceremony. You're going to be wearing a formal shoe. They are visible with the gown. For girls, I know that you want to wear heels. You cannot. Okay, we're outside. The fields, besides sinking, it's bumpy. That you don't want to be the person who's walking down or walking to get the diploma and you fall. Okay,
And it may rain, it may drizzle between now and then, and we'll make the field even softer and more difficult to walk on.
All right, so make sure that we're wearing appropriate shoes that will not sink into the ground. Make sure, so you guys are graduating in the afternoon, right? So you have a nice relaxing morning. Make sure you eat something before you come. All right, you have all morning. You don't have to be here until 11:45. So have a good breakfast. By the time you get here, it's probably gonna be pretty hot and humid, right? So you can be outside in the heat. We don't want somebody to feel faint or feel sick because they didn't eat anything that morning. So please make sure you have something in your stomach prior to coming to us.
We said it to the earlier group for the last, I think it's 5 years in a row. We have had a graduate pass out during the ceremony. And that ceremony has always been indoors in an air-conditioned event at CSI. Tomorrow we're outside in potentially, hopefully the sun, so it could be warm. Make sure you put a little food in your belly. Every time after we bring that person back and we revive them and we sit them back in their chair, to a person, they have always said, I forgot to eat this morning. I was so busy. I was getting my hair done. I didn't really even have anything to drink. That's usually the cause. All right, so have a little bite of a bagel, have a little something tomorrow morning. We have water stations all throughout the field. If you feel hot, raise your hand. Let us know about it. We'll get a bottle of water over to you. We want you to be awake and alert and participating in this ceremony. So please let us know if you need something. We have really planned for all avenues here. We're ready for anything. So let us know and we'll get help to you if you need it.
Perfect. Okay, speaking of the weather, right now the forecast does call for some potential showers in late afternoon. We are very, very hopeful that we will not have to worry about that. But in the case of it, there are no umbrellas allowed onto the field, right? We can't risk having someone's view blocked. So anybody that does bring an umbrella, it will be just held at the gate until it is over. So please just remind your guests, no umbrellas allowed on the fields.
And if it drizzles during the ceremony, we push through. We're tough, we are resilient, we are eagles, we do not melt in the rain. We will be okay. We push through.
Good. All right. And just the last quick note, just about your guests and coming onto the field before we get into the flow of the ceremony, is just a reminder that only pre-registered guests will be allowed onto the field. Okay. We are pretty much at capacity to meet New York City and New York State guidelines. We cannot have one extra person on the field. Your 2 people are registered. They will be checked in at the gate. There is no like gallery seating. They're assigned seats. Everyone's name is currently on a seat. If they somehow get onto the field, there is no seat for this 3rd person.
So they'll be asked to leave.
Correct. This includes small children. Okay, there are no lap children that counts as a person. Okay, so no babies, whether the baby is 6 months old, 6 years old, no child can be sitting on an adult's lap. There is a group of 3 chairs, 1 for you and 2 for your guests. And that is all that we can accommodate at this point. So again, they will be asked to leave. They will not be allowed onto the premises. If they are not on that list, including children, they will not be allowed onto the field.
Folks, we worked so hard to get here, right? We had to jump through so many hoops, so many rules, so many procedures thrown at us by New York State, by New York City, by everybody. In order to pull off this ceremony, we had to submit a plan and follow every rule. We're going first. We are the first school on Staten Island to have an outdoor ceremony. Everybody's going to be watching what we do. Everybody watches what we do anyway, right? We can't have any mistakes tomorrow. We can't have someone saying, but my grandmother's in and needs to come to the ceremony. Doesn't work that way. All right, my 3-year-old sister doesn't have a babysitter. We gave you guys enough warning, enough support, enough instructions. You have to manage it on your end with the parents tomorrow. We cannot make an exception for one. If you make an exception for one, we run the risk of being over tallied and having this event shut down. It's too important to too many people. You guys have worked so hard. You earned this day. Let's get through it. Let's all follow the rules. It's one set of rules for everybody.
Good. And then just the last thing about guests, there also will not be allowed to have anybody watching from the perimeter, right? So if somebody's planning like, oh, well, I'm not one of the 2 people, but I'm gonna stand on the sidewalk and kind of watch from Brighton to see what's going on, that's not acceptable either, okay? Besides the fact that the stage and we have banners blocking the view that you won't really be able to see anything anyway, there will also be NYPD on hand who are clearing the sidewalk, clearing the street. They will not be allowed to be loitering or lingering around the outside of the property. So if there's a 3rd person, they really want to see it, we have a live stream, okay? You use the link, even if you're from your car, but there is going to be no way to view the ceremony from the outside of the property.
We know you guys are loved by a lot of people, right? And that's a great thing, but they need to be able to follow directions as well. The fence line will be completely covered in banners. If you've been watching, I've been sharing some video and some pictures on Instagram. You won't be able to see it from the street anyway. Better off to stay in your air-conditioned car and watch it on your cell phone.
Okay, so now just to review the flow of the ceremony so you know what to expect as we're going through the time here. This is the first time we've done a graduation without a rehearsal. So we're really counting on your cooperation, your flexibility, your attentiveness to get through this together. When we're in the auditorium in the morning, we will go through some of this as well, just so that you know what to expect. But you have to just have your ears open at all times, eyes on us, so you know what to do as we go through the ceremony. So the first thing is, when we'll line up in the auditorium, like we had just said, you're going to process in through the center aisle, right? And it's gonna be a nice slow procession, okay? There's no need to rush. We're gonna keep the distance between people anyway, right? You're going to go and you'll be seated. You're gonna take your seat right in your row with your guests, with your family members, okay? When you get to your row and to your seat, you can sit, okay? So you and your guests are going to sit. You don't need to be remain standing while the rest of the rows come in for the procession. Once everybody is in and the processional music has stopped, okay, you're going to ask, Ms. Ferenzi will be on the microphone. She's going to ask you to please rise and remain standing for a couple of things, right? So we'll have the national anthem in there. We'll have a nice ceremony for the color guard, and we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance. So throughout that portion of the ceremony, everyone is going to remain standing, including you and your guests. When we get to the Pledge of Allegiance part, okay, the color guard is going to start it off and say, I pledge allegiance, right? We're not going to rely on the color guard to do the pledge. Every single person in attendance will be saying the Pledge of Allegiance together. So we'll have almost 500 people saying the same exact thing. So it should be nice and loud and proud of saying the pledge together, okay?
That's something,
After,
you know what, that's something that matters and something that stands out and something you'll remember. So everybody in unison, nice and loud and proud, like Mrs. Janicki said.
okay, after that section is over, you're going to be asked to be seated, and you're going to stay seated for a big chunk of time, right? There's going to be some speakers, whether it's a student speaker or a faculty speaker. There will be a few awards that are given in addition to the awards that were given on awards night, which, by the way, congratulations to all of our award recipients. I know that there were tons of them, and I hope you were able to watch that video. We're very proud of you. But there will be a couple additional ones that are given at actual graduation. And we will also have a beautiful song that is going to be sung as well. So during that whole section, you're going to remain seated. So there's nothing that you need to do on your end. The next time that you're going to rise is when it's time to receive your diploma, okay? And again, we're going to have staff the entire time giving you direction, but so you have to have your eyes on us so that we can tell you what to do. So Mr. Mancusi will be standing in the center aisle. He's going to have a row at a time stand in unison, and that row of graduates only, right, are going to walk back down the center aisle. So the way, kind of like against the traffic, the way that you walked in, the opposite way. So you're gonna walk towards the back of the field, back towards the school building. When you get to the end of the aisle, the row of seats, everyone's gonna go to the right. So whether you're sitting on the girl side or the boy side, right, everyone's gonna go to the right because everyone receives their diploma in the same direction. Walk around, you get to the stage. So now you get to the side stairs on the stage. If you're looking at it, it'll be like the left-hand side of the stage, okay? You're looking at it left-hand side. Ms. Russo will be there with the podium. You're going to have an index card that we give to you in the auditorium with your name on it. You're going to give Ms. Russo your index card. If you have a name that is commonly mispronounced or extremely difficult, right, and you're afraid that it's not going to be said correctly, just whisper in Ms. Russo's ear how to pronounce your name, and she will make sure that it's said correctly. She's been practicing and she's pretty good at it, so there shouldn't be too many things, but if you at any point are concerned about how it might be said, just whisper to her real quick before you walk across, okay? So you give your index card to Ms. Russo, she says your name, you continue to walk across the stage. You'll see Mr. Boyle first. Mr. Boyle will give you your diploma case. We have professional photographers, so stop for a second, there's no need to rush. You're gonna stop, take a picture with Mr. Boyle with your diploma case, handing it to you, and you continue. I will be a little bit further down stage to also congratulate you, give you a little elbow bump, say congratulations, and you're gonna go walk past me down the opposite ends of the stairs. So there'll be stairs on either end. You walk across, down those steps, back in the front of the stage, back up the center aisle. At that point, Mr. Mancusi will have a different aisle standing and walking towards the back, so you'll be in front of him. Just go up back to the center aisle, back to your seats. You may be seated and wait for everyone to receive the diploma. You do not have to remain standing for that portion. All right. After everyone has received their diploma, Mr. Boyle will ask all graduates and guests to rise. He'll do a cool little thing to make you official graduates, official IS-34 alumni. And right from there, everyone remains standing, and we're going to do a recessional. So you're going to walk back out the way you received your diploma, back towards the school. Okay?
Just you, not your parents.
Right, correct. Guest stay, just the graduates will recess out. We'll go back through the building, and the graduates will be dismissed into the PS1 schoolyard, and your parents will come meet you there for dismissal. But the field does need to be evacuated immediately. We can't have anybody lingering on the field. So they will come over to meet you and to pick you up.
You guys are the second ceremony. The weather towards the end of your ceremony is a little bit spotty. So we need to make sure we get your ceremony done and get you guys off the field. Once we have you off the field, we're gonna start to break down this gigantic stage that we have and all the chairs. Once all of that is done, and if it's sunny and nice later on in the day, we're gonna open up our field and let you guys come back. And if you wanna get some pictures, that's the time to do it. But I need to be able to break that stage down before the bad weather comes in.
Good. All right. So I think that kind of wraps up the entire ceremony and all the rules and procedures that we have to follow on our end and on your really the guests end. That's really where we need a lot of cooperation, is just to come prepared with the things that we need them to provide to okay them to enter the field. All right. If anybody has any questions at this time, we can answer some questions. Just put them in the chat if you have a question. Okay. So we only need the health screens getting tomorrow, parent, correct. Okay, so Sine, you are correct. Students, the graduates only need the health screening, but the parents need the health screening plus one of those three things. Okay. Color guard. Hold on 1 second. Ceremonies. Still, yeah, still coming in 8. Okay, we're
gonna feed you guys in between. So if you guys are in the color guard or you're in the jazz band that's playing and performing at both ceremonies, we'll have some pizzas coming in between that we can feed you guys and make sure you have a little food in your belly.
Okay, perfect. So that should answer both Jessica and Marco's questions. Come this whatever time Mr. Mancusi or Mr. Schoenfeld told you to come, still come then, and you're gonna stay through. And we
Good
will have
question about
Q&A.
twins there, Mrs. Janicki.
Okay, we will, yes, twins. When you get here, Nick, we will tell you where to go.
We
Okay,
have
so
a
twins
plan
are
in
together.
place. You're gonna sit with your brother, sister, or triplet, twin, whatever it may be, and your family. Your chair setup will be a little bit different than the 3-person pod. It could be a 4-person or a 5-person, depending on if you're a twin or a triplet, whatever the situation may be. But you still only have 2 loved ones that attend.
Correct.
Same rules for everybody, like we said.
All right, so I got lost here with there's a lot. As far as the girls' gown, so that's why it matters. So I don't even know if we talked about this. The girls, you need to wear that blue collar, right? That comes with your gown. So you really can't see your neckline. So whatever you're wearing underneath, it really won't be able to see besides your shoes. So wear the blue collar, and the gown is totally zipped. So it's zipped up. We should not be seeing what you're wearing underneath your gown. For boys, I know it's gonna be a little bit hot, but for the picture purposes, or especially for your families, for your pictures, you should have a button down like a collared shirt with a solid tie, because you will see that. The gown only comes up to like about here, so you will see your neckline, and also pants and your shoes, not sneakers. Okay, but your gown is zipped all the way up in both cases. Is there any specific way we need to sit in our row? Example, like do we sit in the middle? So each row on the boy and girl side, there are 5 pods of 3. So the graduate is going to sit in the middle seat, and your 2 guests sit on either side of you. All right.
If
So
you look on Instagram, we have a great picture of what the seating arrangements will look like, and you'll be able to see the family pods, chairs of groups of 3.
Correct. Okay. Good question about medals. So yes, if you got any kind of like gear, graduation gear, you're going to wear it to the ceremony. That's why we gave it to you ahead of time, right? So the way that it should look is if you have your stole for Arista, right? So stole goes first. The hood, if you're summa cum laude, goes over that. If you have any medals, that should go under the hood, right? So you're wearing all those things to show all of your wonderful accomplishments while you've been here with us at IS 34.
If you're not sure, bring all your stuff.
Right,
We'll help you get dressed. We got time.
absolutely.
We
And
do
yes,
it every
just,
year. The collar, girls, if you're not sure how to put your collar on,
we'll do it.
come, we're good at it. We've been doing it for a long time.
Correct. If there's a way that you could attach it with a little Velcro or something, and sometimes it's helpful just to like not have to like fuss with it. So if you put like a little sew it on or Velcro or just to attach it, it does make it a little bit easier, but if not, we will fit you. Yes, so just to answer, no caps. We're talking about the graduation caps. There are no graduation caps at the ceremony, so keep those at home. And yes, Juliana, don't worry, we will guide you through the entire ceremony.
Always.
So we're just paying attention and we will make sure that you know what you're doing. Yes, all the tassel, Ryan, you wouldn't wear the tassel, right? Because the tassel goes on your cap. So the cap is staying at home, but everything else you would. Honor key, medals, all that is coming with you. Yes, Anthony, so 8:01 is the later ceremony, so you should arrive at 11:45, correct, for a 1 o'clock ceremony. When does school end after graduation?
We'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
Jazz band is going to perform prior to the ceremony. Then we're going to bring you in and you're going to line up with your class and you're going to walk in.
Yeah, so we'll meet you. You'll come in the auditorium right before we line up. You'll be the last ones to line
We'll
up.
take
get
good
you in the
care of
right
you, don't
spot.
worry.
Okay. I just saw something about.
Students don't need a test. Students are a health
Yes.
survey. Guests need a test or a proof of vax.
To answer, if you need to wear the blue collar, if you have a hood, I'm not quite sure if you can see it or not. I would just wear it just to be safe.
I would wear it anyway.
Yes. Oh, the Eagle Society, that's the cord, Ryan, yes. If you meant the Eagle Society cord, then yes. That's like a rope,
Absolutely.
you would wear that. I'm not sure what it's going to be like. We're gonna have to evacuate the field, Emma, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to really talk to much staff after.
We'll try, but it's honestly, it's tricky. It's tricky.
Mr. Boyle has a question about dress shorts.
No, pants.
Mr. Boyle will be wearing pants, so everyone has to wear pants.
That's it. Pants, pants, pants.
Yes, and guests should also, after they drop you off at 11:45 at the main, they should, like I said in the beginning, they should
They
go
should
immediately
park and
find
come in.
parking and come onto the field because it's going to take a while to get everyone checked in. We have to verify that they're on the pre-registered list, that they have their proof of their, whatever the 3 things are that they're showing, that they have their health screening. So it's going to take a little while to get you in and escorted to your seat. So we can't wait till last minute with this.
And we have water for guests. We have masks for guests if they forget them. We thought of everything. We have everything ready to go.
Good. Marco, I have the extra ribbons here. So just, I will give it to you when you're here. Don't worry. Well, I'll put the ribbon on for you. Just bring the medal itself.
All right, I think we're in a good place, Mrs. Janicki.
Okay, we're not getting yearbooks at graduation. That'll be after graduation's
Later
over.
distribution.
We'll have a separate distribution day where you get
They
everything.
look great.
They do.
They look great.
Also, just as, so you're not surprised, I forgot to tell the other group this, when you get your thing from Mr. Boyle, it's just a diploma case. The actual diploma is not in there yet because obviously.
Because we're still deciding.
If you get to graduate.
So your diploma case will be blank.
It'll be blank. But when we get your yearbook, you'll also get your actual diploma and anything else that we owe you. So there'll be another whole distribution date post-graduation. Okay. All right, I think that is.
If you never picked up a medal or you missed a distribution day.
You're gonna have to try to come today. It's gonna be hard. Tomorrow's gonna be too crazy to try to find you. So if you feel like there's something that you have someone's, I'll be here today
Better
till
to
at
come
least 3
now.
o'clock.
Tomorrow's gonna be hectic and hard for us to pull off.
Correct.
All right, good
All
job,
right.
everybody. It's gonna be a great day. We need your cooperation. We need you to be attentive and listening. Mine's on, and we're gonna get through it. It's gonna be something we're never gonna forget. It's gonna be a great day.
Perfect.
Bye,
All right,
everybody.
bye, guys. Danielle.